A nurse in a busy hospital punches the override button on an automated medicine cabinet. She needs a sedative for a patient headed for an MRI. Instead of Versed, a vial labeled vecuronium slides out. She doesn't see the difference. Minutes later, the patient stops breathing. What began as a routine procedure becomes a national controversy. This is the story of how a tragic medication mistake inside a major US hospital sparked a criminal trial, a fierce national debate, and a reckoning over who gets blamed when the system fails. Chapter 1. A normal day in Nashville. December 26th, 2017. Vanderbilt University Medical Center. A 75-year-old woman named Charlene Murphey is brought in with a brain bleed. She improves overnight and is scheduled for a routine MRI to check her progress. Doctors order a light sedative called midazolam, better known by its brand name, Versed, to keep her calm during the scan. Her assigned nurse is called away to help with another patient. A second nurse steps in to retrieve the medication. Her name is RaDonda Vaught. Vaught heads to the automated medication cabinet and types in V for Versed. Nothing shows up. So she hits override, a function commonly used at the time due to system delays and software updates. A list appears, and she selects vecuronium, a powerful, paralyzing drug used for intubation. She doesn't realize her mistake. Back in the room, she injects the drug into Murphy's IV line. Moments later, Murphy is found unresponsive in the scanner. A code blue is called. Despite emergency efforts, her condition worsens rapidly. She is declared brain dead the next day and removed from life support on December 27. Vanderbilt quietly settles with the Murphy family within months. They don't report the death to state or federal health authorities as required. The cause of death is left off the death certificate. For nearly a year, there is no public record of the error. But a federal investigation eventually uncovers the truth. The hospital is cited, fined, and required to report the incident. By then, the story is already attracting national attention. In 2019, Tennessee prosecutors bring rare criminal charges against Vaught: reckless homicide and impaired adult abuse. She's arrested and released on bond. Her defense is simple. It was a mistake, not a crime. But the prosecution argues her actions were grossly negligent. They point to her failure to read the label, monitor the patient, and notice the drug's warning signs. The courtroom becomes a battlefield over whether this was human error or criminal conduct. As the trial date approaches, nurses across the US begin to pay attention. Many say they've made similar overrides. Some have nearly made the same mistake. Professional groups warn that criminalizing human error sets a dangerous precedent. The American Nurses Association calls the charges alarming and says they threaten the foundation of a culture that promotes honest reporting. To fix problems, they argue, workers must feel safe admitting mistakes. That principle, known as just culture, is a cornerstone of modern patient safety systems. In March 2022, after days of testimony, the jury finds Vaught guilty of criminally negligent homicide and gross neglect of an impaired adult. The verdict sends shockwaves through the nursing community. In May, the judge sentences her to 3 years of supervised probation. No jail time, but a felony conviction. The courtroom is packed with nurses from across the country, some weeping, others holding protest signs outside. Vaught apologizes to the Murphy family, saying,
"I will never be the same person. It's really hard to be happy about something without immediately feeling guilty. She could still be alive, with her family. Even with all the system errors, the nurse is the last to check."
The case becomes a flashpoint. On one side are advocates for accountability. They argue that licensed professionals must be held responsible for deadly errors, especially when they skip basic safety checks. On the other are patient safety experts and nursing groups who say this case was different. The hospital systems were broken. The medication cabinet wasn't updated properly. Overrides had become routine. There was no barcode scanning in use, and Vanderbilt never disclosed the event until regulators stepped in. To them, Vaught wasn't just a nurse who made a mistake, she was a scapegoat for a system that had failed long before she pushed a syringe. RaDonda Vaught lost her nursing license. She filed appeals to get it reinstated, but in 2025, the state upheld the revocation. She now works outside of healthcare. The verdict changed her life, but also shaped national conversations. Nursing boards, hospital systems, and legal experts continue to debate how to balance safety with accountability. Some hospitals reviewed their override policies. Others updated cabinet software and barcoding systems. At the federal level, there are calls to standardize how medication errors are reported and how staff are protected when they report them. This wasn't just a tragedy, it was a lens. It showed the cracks in complex hospital systems, the emotional toll on frontline workers, and the limits of how far just culture really goes when things go wrong. It also exposed the silence of large institutions, the desire to avoid liability, and how fast one nurse can be left holding the weight of an entire system's failure. One life lost, one career destroyed, thousands of nurses shaken. The RaDonda Vaught case will be studied in classrooms, legal briefs, and safety manuals for years. But behind it is a simple question. In a system built by humans and run by humans, what do we do when humans fail? If this story moved you, please consider subscribing. And wherever you are, remember, accountability matters, but so does compassion.